Where we last left off, uh, our group that was now formed with the intentions of helping Silver and Gold's merchant business from the strange disappearance of shippings and the crew, we began to gather supplies around the city. Blanking on the name of the city.
Elversalt.
Elversalt, where Asher brought us along, showing us the shops and also the church, the faith, where fortune and commerce are king here. Handful of us gave prayers and some donations as we set off to the underground, the shady part of Eversalt, going behind a hidden pallet to reveal the entrance leading down to was it called the night market or was it the black market?
The night market, you got it.
Night market, where lot of illegal and shady business goes down there, as we are trying to make our way to the ferry, in a hidden little alcove. Our good friends here got into a little bit of notoriety and was able to, in the process, purchase some fine choices of goods of the chemical variety. Also, Estelle got wrapped up a little bit in that, but we rejoined with the group, hearing some noise, some people following us from Asher. Made sure to block off the trail with some caltrops as the rest of us began to head through the portal. This strange, dirty-looking wall that, calling out, we were able to enter through with the right phrase. Entering into the shore, this little watery cave that is right on the shoreline of, man, I am so bad with names.
Westgate.
Looking for a proper boat to transport us. During that, a commotion was stirred by a kid that was drowning at the pier, where Estelle, taking all her gear off and jumping in to rescue the kid with the help of I believe it was Wilnan that helped, giving a hand out. Not long after saving the kid, did Estelle realize that her pack was taken. Schwatel and Asher decide to hunt down the kid and retrieve the pack, as the rest of us, posing as bodyguards and for a important royal figure for Zahir, needing passage and for a fine boat, going back and forth between where to go landed on a ship that was going to take port at the location that we were looking at, with a few choice words and a hearty cup of tomato soup. The captain was won over, and we need to get all our crew in before 2 hours pass, I believe.
3.
3 hours, okay. That is far.
I'm sure you won't need it.
Yeah. That's as much as I remember.
That was very detailed and accurate, much more so than mine would have been. So thank you very much for that, Nick. Please definitely add an inspiration point to your character sheet.
I hope to use it.
That's true. That is true. Oh man, that's tough. Everyone did great. This is hard. This is true. Then I can pass off that responsibility onto my unsuspecting players.
If you don't want to, you could always roll a dice to decide.
That's true. Okay, you know what? Our first inspiration from our previous session will go to Asher for kindly guiding the party around in the streets of Elversalt and trying to keep everybody reasonably in line. Good job taking charge.
God, am I gonna be the D&D dad in this party? That's not gonna be good.
That remains to be seen.
If anything, it'll be a part-time between you and me.
Shared custody.
I get the weekends, you get the weekdays.
You get the fun days.
And on that note...
Asher's gonna be the fun uncle on the weekdays.
Making me the bad guy again.
I have a feeling that this is gonna be a weekday. So... Speaking of, let's return to the streets of Westgate, this dismal, bustling coast city, as Wilman, Astel, and Zahir have just secured passage aboard the ship, which, fun fact, is called Greener Pastures, that's headed for Plath. But we're gonna zoom in on Chivatal and Asher, who have made it their mission to track down this small child trying to get Astel's backpack. So, on the heels of this interaction, now that you have made your plans, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna track this kid down?
I know that Asher and Otto were away from the rescue scene, but did we get a good look at the kid as we were walking up after they pulled the kid out of the water?
Yeah, you definitely got a look at the kid. He was hard to miss and was making quite a scene. And you did stroll up close enough to take a look at his face as he was talking with your allies. I'll even pop his picture on screen for you. Oh gosh, where is it? Here we go. This child. Looks maybe around 10, maybe a little younger. Clothes are simple, but not threadbare or dirty or anything. Soaking wet, of course. Except his head. His hair's fine. That's the image that you recall of him.
That suggests a path of tracking him if he's soaking wet, trying to follow water. The other thing that I was thinking of is just there were plenty of bystanders. If this is in fact a scam, then the kid has probably done it to others. So just going to one of them and saying, "Hey, that kid who made a scene, where do we find him?"
But they didn't give a flying F about the scene itself.
Yeah. Well, we're tourists.
Easy marks. For now, I'd like to try to track little footprints that are running for the city. Since we're at the docks.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you and Chvatal decide to look for the water trail that this kid has probably left behind. So, either each of you individually or one of you with advantage can roll a survival check, please.
Cool. Shall we roll it individually, Troy?
Yeah. More eyes on the.
Yeah. Let's go.
Hopefully you. Okay, not bad.
Okay, as you both turn your eyes to the streets, Chvatal, your senses are a little bit overwhelmed by the massive crowds of people just shuffling across the docks and streets. It's kind of hard to focus, but Asher, you're used to this kind of bustle. You've been in big cities a lot in your line of work, and you're able to look between people's legs and see, like, the trail of water that does indeed seem to be present in drips and footsteps leading further into the city.
Alright, I got the trail. Follow me, keep up, and just keep a tight grip on your coin purse.
Understood.
And I will start making my way through the crowd following the tracks and keeping an eye out for a soaking wet child that may or may not have a backpack.
Okay, perfect. So you both start making your way further into the city of Westgate, keeping an eye out for this child. As you follow this water trail, it is leading you in a weird path that seems to have a bunch of random turns. It loops back on itself a couple of times. But please, again, individually or with advantage, one of you, a perception check for me as you're trying to find this kid in the crowd.
Let's go.
Nice.
Teamwork!
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Covering for each other's missteps as you are looking for this kid. Asher, it's hard to get a look through the crowd. And, there's a bunch of kids. It's not just this one kid. Every short person you see, it's like, aha! Wait, that's just a half. Aha! Oh, that's an unrelated child. That's fine. Chavaddle, you are the first one to spot a child whose clothes seem to be dripping and leaving behind this trail as he is in the middle of walking along the edge of a relatively crowded street. You don't see a backpack on his back, but as he glances around and you catch sight of his face in profile, it does seem to be the same child.
There. But he's left the bag somewhere.
Probably dropped it off at a pickup. This is going to take a little longer than expected. Alright. Since Chavaddle pointed the child out, how far away are we from the target?
At this point, where you've managed to spot him relatively far ahead in the crowd, I'd say maybe like 30 feet or so. Movement on these streets is somewhat slow, mind you, because it is the middle of essentially Westgate rush hour.
Traffic jams. Is he interacting with anyone right now?
As you take a closer look, he is very much not engaging with any other people passing by. He's like keeping his head down, kind of dodging and weaving in between people. Keeps looking around. He looks like he is on the alert, if anything.
Alright. I don't know what bag of tricks you got, Chavaddle, up your sleeve, but close the distance pretty fast right now. Get him by surprise. And if he turns to run away from me, he'll run into you. Unless you have an idea of grabbing him right now.
Frightening him is probably our best bet. He thinks he's gotten away clean.
By the way, are you both watching him as you're having this discussion? Keeping an eye on him?
Asher does not break eye contact with the child. Like he's talking over his shoulder or just like not looking at Chavaddle. He keeps his eye on his target. And the moment Chavaddle said, like, intimidating him, that's our best bet, Asher would just give a nod, and he would disappear. Like a morning dew. Just gone. And, he'll be reappearing 30 feet in front of the child, and I am going to be misty stepping.
Interesting. Okay. No problem. You are able to do so. As Chavaddle, Asher's in the middle of talking to you and just suddenly is gone.
Do I see him appear anywhere else, or?
He didn't communicate about it, so roll a perception check.
Okie dokie.
It's gonna be hard to miss me.
As you are looking through the crowd, you spot him way farther ahead than should be possible all of a sudden. The child, in between you now, does not seem to have noticed either of you, and is making his way slowly along the edge of the street, kind of with an eye on an upcoming alleyway.
I go to intercept him at the alleyway.
And I'll try to be less, be slightly further away, but in a place that would block him from an exit.
Okay. And as you've managed to escape his notice so far, you're able to do so as he's making his way toward the alleyway, and you manage to beat him to it, passing the entrance just as he is approaching it. What are you doing?
Asher would, if the kid isn't within reach, he would grab the kid by the collar, his cloak or whatever he's wearing, and pull him into the alleyway, not too far into it, but just enough to where he puts him up against the wall and starts to ask him questions and interrogate him about the backpack that belonged to my comrade that seemed to disappear when they rescued him.
Okay. You reach out and grab this kid's collar, and he is taken off guard by this, as while he was looking around, it doesn't seem like he was looking around for you specifically. So you're able to drag him into the mouth of this alley as he kind of chokes. He's like, who are... And you successfully pin him against the wall and start interrogating him.
I'm gonna ask one question. All I need is one answer, and it better be truthfully. Otherwise, you're gonna be walking with a limp for the rest of your life. Where's the backpack you took from the nice person that rescued you?
The backpack? Sir, I don't know what you're talking about. How would I take a backpack? I was busy almost drowning.
I'm gonna pull out a hand crossbow and put a bolt in it and aim it at his knee. Hold you limp for the rest of your life. Gonna be really bad swimming. Gonna hurt a lot when you're in the water. I don't want to do this to a kid. I get it, you're just trying to survive. But that backpack has things that we need. I don't got time to mess around. Help me, help you, and I'll pay for your services. If you lie to me, it's gonna hurt a lot.
Cool. Roll intimidation with advantage.
Thank God, because I'm not very charismatic. Oh. 12.
Okay.
Child, right?
So as you've got your hand crossbow like point blank aimed at this small child's knee, you see the color drain from his face, and you feel him start shaking against the wall. And he looks at you. And he glances out the mouth of the alleyway at the passerby. And you're a little bit into the alleyway. You didn't go very far, you said, right?
Correct.
So people are still visible, and you're still visible to some people as they pass by. And in fact, you see a couple of people as they're walking glance in your direction and clock this scene. And there are a couple of uncomfortable expressions. But people keep walking. maybe this isn't an unusual occurrence in this city. As the kid looks back at you.
Listen, you want to tell me before my friend gets here because I'm the nice one. And I just met these people today, so just let me help you, kid. I get it. It's hard to live on the streets. Scratching and clawing for any coin you can get. I'm offering you coin just to give me back the fucking backpack. And everything that was in backpack.
Oh, okay, listen. Okay, okay, just let me finish my sentence before you do anything, okay? I really didn't take the backpack, but it's my job to distract people, okay? I don't know what goes on when I'm distracting. I don't know what people choose to take. I just do my job, and I get paid for it later. So I don't know where the backpack is. It's true, okay?
I believe him.
Roll an insight check.
Oh my god.
Hey.
God damn!
Is that an Oscar-worthy performance?
You know people. This kid isn't lying. It seems like he's actually telling the truth in regards to what his role is and the idea that he doesn't know anything about this backpack. But with your keen insight, you get the sense that he's still withholding something. It's not specific knowledge about the backpack or him stashing it somewhere, but there's more information that he could give you to help you that he is withholding, though he looks like he is about to piss his pants doing so.
Asher will lower his hand crossbow a little bit, pointing more towards his foot now, or the ground. And he'll just tell the kid, alright, so, like I said, I get it. Do what you have to survive. You've never done that. Me, everything you did after my friend jumped into the ocean to save you. You distracted them. Who was a part of your crew to come pick something up? Where do they go? Where do you go for your contacts?
I don't really know too much about the person. They usually wear clothes that like hide their face and stuff. So I don't know who they are. I just get paid by them. If I take you there, I'm gonna be in a lot of trouble. Either way. By the way, Chivato, where are you in this? Are you still slowly approaching, or are you kind of keeping your distance, having clocked what's going on?
I think having clocked what's going on, I was going to watch to see if the crowd is responding to this. But it sounds like people are kind of grimacing and moving on.
Yeah, for the most part, people are just clocking it and minding their own business. You get the sense that it's quite dangerous to get involved in things that you don't know much about in this city.
I mean, sensing this, can we say that I approach?
Sure.
Okay. It sounds
Listen, kid,
like
what's your name? Shit. Too late. I tried. Have fun, kid.
Silas, as he kind of glances over at Chivatal, who's approaching, and does as his eyes widen and he does a double take, being unused
I no
to
longer
seeing
have a
any
hold of
gift.
the kid. Like the
You
moment
let him go.
Travadal said something, Asher lets go, but he walks further into the alley to where the kid is in between both of us, and he just kind of leans on the side of the wall and just looks at the kid like, "Here's your time to tell me what I needed, and you dilly-dallied, so now you gotta deal with."
your deception was well played, but it has ended. Sounds like you will be in trouble if you take us to where these people go. It sounds like you will then need a different job. Perhaps on our crew as we sail away from this place. However, it didn't seem like you were very good at swimming.
As the kid is watching you, Chivatal, as Asher talks, and the more Asher said, implying that you were bad news approaching rapidly, you saw his face getting paler and his eyes widening, and him starting to glance around for avenues of escape. But as you speak, he kind of pauses and looks back at you with a vaguely confused, wary expression. A job on your crew?
Yes. A life full of danger. You'll probably die in 3 days.
And a half.
Or you could face the consequences of recovering the property. If your employers are dangerous, perhaps we will just kill them.
Please roll an insight check.
Okay. I am not sure what's going on here.
This kid's expression is doing an interesting... Asher, you're there too. You can make the insight check too if you want.
Okay.
But Chivatal, this kid's face is doing some weird stuff as you're speaking. And it's difficult
This is a
to make
roller
head or
coaster.
tail of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, give the kid whiplash, he'll fucking figure things out.
Yeah. Yeah, Asher, you're watching this weird stuff going across this kid's face as well. Like, he doesn't quite seem to know what to make of all this. But as Chivatal mentions killing his employer, his face changes again. Can't really figure out what he might be feeling in this moment. He's gonna make a break for it, running past Chivatal, not Asher. So,
Okay.
You guys can both, let's see, how should we do this? contested acrobatics or athletics, I suppose. Unless anyone thinks there should be a different role for this scenario, I am open to feedback as I am ignorant.
So Chvaddle would be the one trying to grab him as he's getting away.
Right. So my proposal is choose acrobatics or athletics and contest it against the kids.
Yeah.
Unless you have a different idea.
I mean, that is fair. I'll go ahead and roll athletics.
Okay.
Not great. How did the kid do?
Ooh,
Damn,
barely
the kid has
better.
7?
Dang.
You're a child.
He sure does. But still barely better. As the kid narrowly manages to dive past your fingers as you are reaching out. Your fingers make contact with his cloak as you are grabbing out for him, and he just manages to slip out of the cloak as you grab onto it. And then he is shoving into the crowd, trying to make his way out of this situation.
Can I cast Hunter's Mark on him?
What is the range on that one?
90 feet.
Absolutely, you can. Let's see, is that a save?
Nope, for the
Or
next
does it just
out-
happen?
It just happens. So you choose a creature you can see within range and mystically mark it as your quarry until the spell ends. It lasts 1 hour, depending on concentration checks. Anytime I deal damage to the creature, I deal an extra 1d6. But the more important thing right now is I have advantage on Wisdom Perception or Survival checks to find said quarry.
Hell yeah, you do. Okay. As the kid is slipping away, Asher, you manage to trace him with a faint bit of magic.
It's gonna be the hard way, kid. Just follow me. He'll tire himself out or lead us to where we need to go.
Question, just for flavor's sake, does Asher speak Draconic?
Nope! I'm not
Okay.
that fancy of a human.
Then you will hear Chvaddle speaking a strange language, and there will be a small gout of flame in the air as a creature of flame in the shape of a small dragon appears flying. And Chvaddle speaks to it as he's cursing.
Of a cough.
Now. And he will yell in the direction of the kid. You may outrun me, but can you lose him? As I have my wildfire spirit attempt to fly out and keep watch on the kid from the air.
Okay.
We're treating this child.
All
He's
right.
like an arms dealer from hell. We have a UAV, we got tracking devices. This kid's going nowhere. All for a child.
Okay. Yep, this is fine. This is a rational and measured response. Okay, as your wildfire spirit bursts into existence with a hiss of flame, a couple of the people who are walking by in the alleyway, you see them kind of flinch and make a little bit of more space between them and the alley. But again, people for the most part just try really desperately hard to mind their own business. As you summon your wildfire spirit and sick it on the retreating 10-year-old. Let's see, what are your wildfire spirit's stats? Does it have a speed for flying or walking?
Actually, not that fast. 30 feet flying. But as a bonus action, can teleport 15 feet.
Ooh. Okay. You send your wildfire spirit after the child, and with a crackle of flames and a hiss of steam, it shoots through the air above the crowd and takes off in hot pursuit. After this kid, and just streaks over people's heads, giving chase. Are you guys also attempting to give chase or just slowly following, as Asher mentioned?
Sorry, I might have missed that. Asher said to follow slowly?
I mean, Asher's just walking. He doesn't seem too concerned about losing the kid right now. But at the same time, when you look at him right now, he has this weird look on his face of like, what the fuck did I just see? After you just uttered some weird shit and more or less hawked a flame loogie out and it's flying now. It's like, huh? He'll just look at you like, does that happen often? I need to know, because we're about to get on a boat.
That creature is bound to me, but I control it.
Oh. Good to know.
His name is Umvenak. As I'm keeping pace with Asher.
Gonna call him Knock.
Oh no.
I can't just call him Knock? Okay. God, all you people with fancy
call him
names.
whatever.
Did he come from out of you or something? Like, cause
No.
God of Flame came out of your mouth, and then that thing showed up. And like, does he live inside you? Is it like some type of parasite host thing?
He's a creature of fire. We can talk about magical theory later. We have a child to punish.
I mean, I know where direction he's going. I'm not too concerned. Unless he steps through a portal somewhere, which I doubt, but at the same time, who knows? We did. Fuck. Maybe we shouldn't go at this slow of a pace. Maybe it's just like a good medium speed.
Fine. I was following your lead.
Asher will quicken the pace, but he's not going to go into a full sprint.
It would be difficult to do so in the midst of this thick crowd. Chavaddle, what were your orders to your wildfire spirit?
So many possibilities. It will not be instant termination. We would have said, lead us to that child.
Okay. So between the spirits, say his name for me one more time.
Umvenak? I will put in chat.
Okay. Thank you. Between this spirit Umvenak and his flight speed and repeatedly just seeming to fizzle out midair and reignite further on than it should be, the child keeps looking up behind him as Silas realizes that he is not getting away from this. Between Umvanak and the Hunter's Mark, you know exactly where Silas is at all times in this crowd, as he frantically makes his way through the streets, still trying to move as fast as possible to keep ahead of you, as he leads you deeper into Westgate. At this point, as you set off on this chase, we're gonna switch perspectives to the rest of our party. Okay, so you guys have successfully secured your passage aboard the Greener Pastures. Good job. Everything is going fine, I'm sure. What are you guys up to now?
The crew said that they needed help with loading the cargo on the ship. I'd imagine Estelle would be assisting with that.
Okay. Estelle, you immediately make yourself a productive crew member by picking up some of the cargo that they are loading on board to some appreciative nods and helping them move stuff aboard their ship. Already drumming up a positive rapport.
Right here? Is it fine to... right here? Like holding one of the boxes.
Yeah, that's... I mean... yeah, that'll... The crewmate's buddy kind of elbows him in the side and looks over at Estelle and is like, yeah, we put stuff down in the hold usually, so if you'll just take them where everybody else is heading toward, as you see, like, the slow stream of deckhands dragging barrels and crates towards the hold of the ship.
Excuse me? Alright. Stepping through. Following in line and going down to the hold and stacking the box in a neat little corner of the room. And beginning to repeat that process.
Okay. Roll me an athletics check.
Hiya.
Damn!
Grabbing multiple boxes. This girl, even though she looks frail in some regards, is carrying more than what you would assume she could.
As Estelle easily makes light work of this cargo, she is simultaneously helping the crew be far more productive and also less productive at the same time, as a few crewmates just kind of drop what they're doing and stare as she just casually strolls by with like multiple barrels on her shoulders, her frail looking shoulders.
Gives just the quaintest of smiles, seeing the crew resting.
You see a couple of them, like, shake themselves out of it, and some get, like, a little competitive and try to pick up as much cargo as this new girl. And suddenly you're in a one-sided cargo carrying competition, as everyone is trying to pick up more than they would normally hold. Let's
That's
just
the
roll a
spirit.
straight d20 to see how they do.
Oh.
Oh man, they're doing their best. Their hearts are in the right place. But in their eagerness to be a good rival, a couple of guys drop stuff. Just spices and salt and stuff spray across the deck of the ship. There is just a litany of curses and scrambling to get stuff back in the barrels as the captain just kind of glances over and is like, "What's going on over here? Hey, whoa, what's with the mess? Come on, how many times have I gotta tell you boys to be careful with the merchandise? Oh, thanks so much for your help, Miss Astel, I think it was?
Yes. It might have been my fault. Everyone was getting very excited. They're having a friendly competition with seeing who could grab the most things.
You see one of the crew hands, this, like, the same burly dwarven figure who was kind of giving the party some crap last time, just kind of puffs up and is like, no, this is just, I'm just doing my job, and, you know, I got a little overzealous. It's got nothing to do with the new folks, I promise you that. And Captain Westall just shakes his head and is like, alright, okay, just clean it up, and, you know the rules, that's a deduction from your pay for this trip. Guy's face just sours.
Captain Westall.
Ah, yes, miss?
Please don't be too harsh on your crew. They meant well, and I have to say that the effort they put into moving the cargo really helped things along. The mess wasn't great, but I'm sure that they'll do double the effort to make up for things. So, and I'll help along too. Please don't be too harsh on them. Please.
Roll a persuasion check.
$13.
Wessel kind of sighs a little bit. That's very kind of you, miss. Appreciate the help. You're definitely pulling your weight already. Don't you worry about, the discipline procedures aboard this vessel. It's really nothing compared to what most of them are in this industry, so don't worry about it. We've got everything under control. Right, Melgan? As he glances over towards the guy and he just kind of hunches up a little bit. Yes, Captain. Yep.
Just like turning, like facing Melgan, and just this whisper of like, sorry, like, I tried.
His sour expression clears very slightly as he shrugs and just kind of starts cleaning up salt and spices from the deck. Yeah. Well then, what are you up to? During this span, which takes a while for Astel to be helping out with all this. So time passes.
Yes. Growing concerned for our missing party members. Still, I grow worried about our companions. I think I might go and make sure that they'll be back in time for the boat.
Oh, yeah. I'm still need to take care of things here.
Are you sure?
If looks back, does it seem like the crew has it situated?
A couple of other crew members have also taken a break from carrying things to help clean up the mess on deck. So you get the sense that, this happens occasionally. It's something that they're used to dealing with.
I think I could take a break to help look with you.
I just have a bad feeling about what's going on with them. Could use your help. And Wilman will start down the gangplank.
Estelle will slowly follow. Bad feeling.
Yes, we didn't exactly send the friendliest part of our party to go interact with a child.
I agree about Bartle, but Asher seemed pretty nice.
Seemed is the operative word. In truth, we only met Mr. Locke today. Perhaps my fears are unfounded, but we won't know for certain until we go and investigate.
Okay. They also don't know about the ship, and we have a limited time, so that's also could be a problem.
Yes. As Wilman has a determined direction already in mind to go.
As with confidence, Wilman leads the way through the streets of Westgate. And you make your way slowly but surely in the direction that our two pursuers are also making their way. For the purposes of the moment, we'll say that Zahir is hanging out on the ship still as he is getting situated with the crew. He has a lot of introductions to do.
Also, probably needs to prep his room. Because I think he's the only one that got a room.
How could he possibly do that without his servants?
I believe it. Needs to match his preferences, after all.
Has to be up to standard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, give me just a moment. any further discourse as Asher and Chavatal are tailing this kid very obviously with the
Please
flame
tell me.
spirit hovering above him.
How do you continue to bully this child?
Conversational tone.
Got a stupid haircut.
Yeah. Sorry, trying to get serious, and it's difficult. It does occur to me that this child was a distraction. If he's aware of our pursuit, he may be leading us into danger.
Well, that'll just terrify me even more when we take care of said danger.
And with luck, he will be leading us to the ones that we need to find anyway.
If he's smart, he would. I mean, he's just leading us to some people that he thinks can take care of us. You don't have a rude awakening. I tried to pay him. He was just too worried about the people he worked for, so I guess we're just not that scary. How far away from the docks have we traveled?
Pretty far. You've kind of been led on this chase further into the city to the point where you're kind of approaching more of the outskirts a little bit. Like, it's not like he's led you on a direct course through the center of the city, but he's been kind of skirting along the edge, and now you're in, if anything, an even dingier looking part of town. Your tailing him has taken a while. Like, it's been a solid maybe 20-30 minutes. Maybe 20 minutes.
Oh, alright. Fun and games over. Fuck this. Is there any way I could, with Hunter's Mark still on him, try to intercept his horse by breaking off and cutting through alleys and more or less I just want to cut him off and get in front of him or get around him in a way by using Hunter's Mark as a constant like beacon and moving in a faster pace and more kind of indirect but direct route to like going through alleyways and if I have to fucking buildings.
Let's see here. So you start turning your attention to trying to cut this kid off as you're spending a lot of time on this pursuit. He is still moving as fast as his little legs can carry him, slipping in between people in the crowd, though it is beginning to thin. He seems pretty well used to navigating these streets, even when they are crowded. So if you want to attempt to cut him off, knowing where he is at all times because of Hunter's Mark and because of the fire spirit, you can make your choice of athletics to shove your way through the crowd, or survival to attempt to circumnavigate his route through the streets to cut him off. But it will be at disadvantage either way, due to the conditions.
So it would be a regular roll with survival since Hunter Marks is me.
That's right.
I'm not a strong boy. 16.
Okay. At a 16 survival check, as this kid is running through the streets, you split off and take a path that you figure will probably allow you to maybe cut him off if you're quick enough. And you split up from Chavaddle doing this.
Always the wisest decision.
Chavaddle, are you maintaining your course or are you following Asher?
No, I'm staying on the kid.
Okay. Let me get this. Okay. Can you see?
Yes.
Oh, it's a map, guys.
We got a map.
Good luck.
Control people's tokens to people.
Goddamn, that flame dragon is terrifying.
I wasn't gonna say shit. Like, you sent that after a kid. I just was like, Hunter's Mark, I know where you are. I'm gonna Michael Myers this. No, you were like, fucking eternal flame. Follow him.
Yeah, no, this kid is horrified in mortal fear with this small, fiery dragon creature following him over his head.
I mean, I haven't told him to attack yet.
I'll tell your
Not yet.
therapist something.
I'd like the
I just
record
wanna
to state that I
reiterate,
hate
no
the
one
Yet.
gives. What'd you say, Max?
I was saying, I'd like the record to state that I hate the Yet in that sentence.
Yeah, no, and that
I
flame
just-
spirit is right on his ass.
I like how no one's giving a fuck about this scene taking place. Just like, nope.
Indeed, no one was giving a fuck. The crowd has begun to thin somewhat in this area, as... Does everyone have control of their tokens?
Think so?
Yep.
Okay, cool. As Asher, you manage to skid around this corner and find yourself slightly ahead as you see Silas making his way very quickly through the streets, aiming towards the building to the north of you. And you see the moment that he glances up from where he was, like, looking above his shoulder at the fiery dragon tailing him, and sees you somehow in front of him, and just kind of skids to a halt. Shit. As he glances over to his left. And the building to the north of you, it looks like it's some sort of bar or tavern or something. You see hanging above it this rickety wooden sign that says The Black Eye. And there's like this poorly drawn picture of a man, a half-orc probably, as he has tusks, with a grin on his face and a black eye. One of the tusks isn't drawn on, but it looks like it's an actual tusk pasted to the sign. There are all sorts of other signs on the front of this building, and two burly-looking people just hanging out in front of it. They're one of the only groups of people who you see as they clock Silas sprinting down the street with this fiery dragon chasing him. You see that they don't look like they're just minding their own business as they kind of push off of the walls as Silas is like screaming in their direction. 50! 50! Please, 50!
Do they look like they're walking towards Silas?
As Silas yells out to them, they glance at him and look around for potential threats. And yeah, they do start kind of making their way in his direction.
Fuck it. Let's see here. We got a... Oh, damn. Neither one looks too inviting, honestly. But I will just take a shot at that gentleman.
Oh, we're going straight to fighting? Okay.
I'm not a
real
diplomat. I'm trying to get a message across. You fucked up, kid.
God damn! Okay. You go
think-
ahead and
We're in a city. Wait till
before
we're on
anyone
the
has
road.
time to react, you take a shot with your crossbow. You can go ahead and take that shot.
I'll use my inspiration on this roll for advantage.
Okay. Towards the man on the right, you said?
Yeah, the really badass eyes glowing in some type of head scar. I don't know. made a lava
Looks
for all I
like,
know.
yeah, looks like he is this burly-looking Earth Genasi who didn't clock you in time as he was focused on Silas approaching.
That's a 22 to hit. And that's
Ooh, yeah,
10
that
damage.
God damn. Okay, as you roll up, and immediately this guy is starting to make his way towards Silas, and then staggers against the wall of the tavern with a grunt as he gets nailed in the rib cage with this thick, heavy crossbow bullet. Or hand crossbow? Hand crossbow. Bolt. Thing. That thing.
I just look at Silas and like as soon as I take the shot, my eyes veer from the person because I can't do anything once the bolt's released. I just stare at Silas like, this is your fault.
You see the kid looking horrified. And the two people immediately square up. Please roll initiative.
There's gonna be a lot of blood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's looking like it.
Ooh, this is some funky music.
Thank you.
In a very
It's from a Mafia game.
Mafia 2?
That's the one.
explain.
I only know
Oh my
because I saw the I saw the music name.
Jukebox.
I was about to be like, Nick,
Yeah.
you've played Mafia 2, but you haven't seen like a metric shit ton of the movies we talk about.
I still don't know. I still have never watched Mafia or 2 or Scarface or yeah. There's a lot of Italian movies I haven't watched.
Well, Mafia is a video game.
Mafia, I also never played. Oh, I got
Oh
confused. with
shit,
Godfather.
turn tracker.
That's what
God damn
is.
it.
What's that?
I forgot the turn tracker.
Just turn it on. See?
But,
Oh, good. It's still tracking. Okay. Whew.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's smart.
Mm-hmm.
May roll again.
Sorry, this is going to
Tracker.
take a minute. Please talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah, I
Only
never played
ineffable
the
things like-
Mafia
Listen,
games.
I was gonna pay the damn kid some gold to help us, and he was like, "Nah, I'm gonna run away." So I'm sending a message to this little bastard.
Mhm.
Should have just taken the money.
You know, this is gonna be a great sight when Estelle and Wilnan walk in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll have to add Asher to the church order.
Yeah, also, how do I manually remove something from the turn order?
You
If
look,
you
you
go to the turn
hover over
order.
the icon, and yeah, turn order,
and over
and
the icon, there should be like a
yeah,
garbage pail.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
But yeah, this is gonna be good. I didn't expect I didn't expect it to devolve this fast.
Oh yeah.
Neither did I.
What do you mean? My session with you was a combat. That's all I'm good at.
True. How do I manually add someone?
Right click.
The gear
wait, never
icon,
mind.
top right.
Never mind, we're good. Asher's already on there.
I don't see Asher. That might be from a different map.
Oh shit, it's from the last combat, damn it. Oh, that means I can just change it. Wait, no, but then you still can't see it.
Yeah, what you can do is like when you click on Asher's token and right click, there should be in the drop down, and you add turn or add to tracker or something like that. It's been a while since I've messed with Roll20 on the DM side.
It's been a while.
Oh, just reroll.
Aha, add turn, there it is.
Hooray.
This is gonna be great. 27.
Probably be
God damn.
damn base.
Almost, yeah.
Okay, one more thing before we get rolling. I'm so sorry. How do you get rid of the players' icons in the little on the bottom of the screen?
Oh, you
They
top
are
right
covering half of my map.
options. Top right options. You go to audio and video. Go to video display, and you can toggle it so it says names only. Where it says player
Thank
video
you.
avatar. No problem.
I only have one screen to work with, guys. I gotta consolidate.
I mean, hey,
Never
I
again. Can
I
never.
also have one screen to deal with, but you don't hear me complaining.
Yours is a massive fucking screen.
Oh, you got like that Samsung like
It's not Samsung, but yeah,
You got
it's
the
it's
ultra
an
wide?
It's an ultra wide.
Yeah, that's cheating. That's basically two screens melded together.
I'd actually warn it's closer to 3 screens.
Yeah, so I don't want to fucking hear it. Anyway. All right. So, Asher, you just took a shot at this dude.
Yep.
It's still your turn.
Uh, I will. Move there and take another shot at the Genasi guy. As my
Okay.
action.
Right in front of the child. See what you did?
Pretty fucking much. I'm gonna turn this kid into Batman. 23 to hit.
Yeah, that'll fucking do it.
Oh boy. Oh god.
Oh my
minus-
god.
Minus the 3 because I don't have advantage or anything, so I got no sneak attack. It's only 7.
Right. Okay. Yeah, you take another shot at this man, and barely he's had time to take a step and already has 2 bolts sticking out of his gut.
Kind of like look over my right shoulder and I'm like, damn, you're made of sturdy shit. And bonus action, crossbow expert, shoot again.
Oh my god, okay.
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
Oh wow.
5
Oh.
points of damage.
Okay, it's 5.
I don't get sneak attack, right?
5?
Yeah.
What? You get sneak attack once per turn, right?
Yeah,
But
but I don't have anyone near me. I don't have advantage. There's no ally near him, so
Okay.
I can't get sneak attack right now. But I am softening the living shit out of this man.
A third bolt makes its way directly into this man's rib cage, and you see him cough a spurt of blood, eyes wide, looking like he got hit by a truck before he could open his eyes.
And
He's
to end my
barely
turn,
hanging on.
I will get one more step closer and just look at Silas and be like, why didn't you just take fucking money? Why'd you have to run? Now this is happening. As I load another bolt in and get ready for a bout.
You see tears in the boy's eyes. And that's your turn. Okay. Chipotle, how you doing?
Oh, just doing great. So yeah, I have a question for the DM. I can see the roof of this building, but not all of it. What kind of construction is it?
So it's like this rickety looking building. The tiles are wooden. They're kind of like falling in places. There are some that are missing. Looks a little sketchy, but it's standing. It's hanging in there. There's wooden signs all over the front of the building, and now that you're taking a moment to look at it more closely, you see that they are all wooden signs with badly drawn caricatures of various people's faces, all of them with a black eye, all of them with like a drawn-on, empty grin, but they all have at least one, sometimes more, actual teeth pasted to the signs. Like, a couple of them have an almost full head of teeth. You get the sense this place is called the Black Eye for a reason.
Cool. Okay. Gonna go out on a limb here. So it seems like lots of things are flammable.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Buildings mostly wood.
mostly wood.
Oh no.
So, going to have Umvanak move over here. And well, actually, he doesn't even need to get that close because he can shoot things. So yeah, can have him bonus action Flame Seed the side of this rickety wooden building. Do I need to roll against building?
I mean, it's a building. It's not going anywhere unless you go ahead and roll in case you roll in that one and miss wildly.
Okay. That's just my spell attack modifier. Oh wow!
Oh my god! Holy shit! As Umbanak seems to inhale and the flames of his body puff out and grow, and he spits out this little gout of fire. But unfortunately, while they do hit wood, they hit the wood of the little water rain barrel that's directly next to the building, mostly spraying into the water and fizzling out in a burst of steam. But it looked scary.
Okay. Shvaddle gives Umvanak a dark look and steps forward to there and just reaches forward, hands out spread, and casts Burning Hands.
And we're totally the guys you should just send on a diplomatic mission.
I mean, honestly, the worst we were expecting was like the kid being dead, not burning down the neighborhood.
I'm aiming for this building. But yeah.
As you glance around, you do take note that it's not the only building with a wooden roof. There are others that are very close to it. As you were, continue.
Yeah. Lighting the side of the building on fire, I hope.
Yeah, it wasn't a nat 1. That'll do. Oh wait, it's a dex save. You don't even have to roll for it. Yep.
Buildings can make saves.
Try it, building. I dare you.
He will look
Fuck
at
Westgate.
the so far unhurt half orc, looks like.
Uh-huh.
And say
She... Mm-hmm.
and say, you could help us recover our property, or you could deal with the fire.
You work for us now. Roll your choice of intimidation or persuasion? Intimidation. It's intimidation. Roll intimidation.
They're both trash, but let's
Let's
go anyway.
Oh
Okay.
my god.
What the shit?
The lowest lows and the highest highs.
As this very intimidating looking half-orc woman is in the middle of squaring up, sees you unleash this spray of flames that immediately catches on the side of the bar that she works at, and issue her this direct command, pretty much. She kind of freezes in place and glances back and forth between the flames on the side of the building and Silas and you. And she just kind of... fuck. Argus, get the fucking fire. And she's gonna turn towards Silas. You fucked up
He
this
tells
time,
the man
kid. Just
with 3 bullets.
give it up. Yeah. Yep. You see Argus looking like, what are you, okay?
He gets to shoot me 3 times. I don't get to do shit.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, okay. Anything else on your turn?
No, I'm good.
Okay. It's Argus's turn.
Deal with that fireball.
This man looks down at the 3 bolts sticking out of his body and the gout of blood down his face, looks back up at Asher, looks over at his bouncer friend, and is like, fucking hells. Okay, give me a second. He's gonna limp into the bar and get some help for putting out the fire specifically.
Is there any water left in the barrel?
So to be clear, their choice is not to help us, but to try to fight us off while the building's on fire.
No, he's just gonna get someone who's not dying to come out here and put the building out.
Okay, cool.
As he just stumbles and staggers his way inside the bar. You were hearing, by the way, amidst the sounds of chaos that you've unleashed, you were hearing the distant din of, like, bar goers doing their thing. And as Argus, like, half falls through the doors, you hear a sudden silence descend before there's, like, a little roar of people reacting. But yeah, that's Argus's turn. It's Silas's turn. Oh man. What is this poor kid doing? You see him seemingly rooted to the spot, just staring all around him at the horror that is being unleashed. And he looks at the bouncer woman, who is also at this point making to move toward him threateningly. And you just see tears spill down his face. And he just kind of starts screaming, Mom! Mom! And man, he's got nowhere to go. You see him just drop and curl up into a protective ball with his hands over his head in the middle of the street, sobbing. That's Silas's turn. As Margul, the bouncer, just looking around, giving horrible looks towards everyone involved in this, but knows better than to fuck around with what is immediately descending upon this bar. She's just gonna storm over to Silas, grab him by the scruff of his shirt, and lift him bodily. Okay, listen, kid. I don't know what the fuck you got yourself into this time, but a 50% cut of the loot is not gonna cover that, as she points towards the side of the building that is on fire. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, as he's screaming. She kind of like shakes him. Here's what's gonna fucking happen, dipshit. We're gonna wait for that bitch to get here. She's gonna hand over the shit. And you're both gonna owe us your lives in the service of this bar after this crazy horseshit. Understand? That's Margul's turn. Asher, what are you doing at this point?
Um,
No one is
Kind of.
actively attacking you anymore.
kind of marveling in the inferno that is happening in front of me, and looking down at Silas, he just utters to him like, "Offered you coin." Sometimes when you get caught, man, you just have to deal with the consequences. Otherwise, it gets worse. I look at the bouncer and just inform
Mhm.
her that, even though I shot first, I am truly sorry about all this. I tried to pay the kid for the property he took, but he decided to take a run for it. If his life is indentured to this bar eternally, hey, just choice. I has to deal with it. Sorry about the fire. I have no control of that. But if you get your buddy out here, I can kind of help him out with those bolts. Plus, I kind of need him back.
She just looks up sideways at you, just absolute seething. Shut the fuck up with your bullshit preaching. Come in here and fucking wreck my place of work, and then offer me help. Get the fuck out of here. We're gonna get your bullshit back that got took, and then you're gonna leave, and I'll never see your fucking faces again. Got that shit?
Hopefully. We do plan on leaving. Actually, hopefully rather soon. This little hiccup kind of fucked that all up. So if you're gonna blame anybody, I'll let you blame yourself for making a deal with a child about 50% of whatever the fuck they take.
Just gonna roll something real quick. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do for a self-restraint roll. You see this woman's burly ass arms, like, tense and strain with every muscle visible as she fights every instinct to deck you right in the face. But she keeps somewhat of her cool. Chivatal, are you doing anything else?
Yeah.
Asher, I'm
sure.
guessing that was your turn?
Yeah, more or less. He does still have his crossbow trained on the two of them. Just like casually going from eating style.
Yeah, Shvatul continues glaring angrily at Umvanak and tells him in Draconic to the roof. Just getting him up. So he's sitting about here.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the roof?
Hovering over the roof, let's say.
Okay. You hear the crackling of heat as he passes.
Then to Silas. Although he might be too distraught to respond. Who is meeting you?
Silas, just a wailing, sobbing wreck. Mom! Mom!
Then to the bouncer. I'll warn you that this works in both directions. And going to cast control flames to get rid of some of the crackling flames on the side of the bar as a gesture of goodwill.
As you cast your magic and some of the flames, not all of them of course, begin to fade and sizzle, leaving just a patch left burning on the side of the wooden siding. Okay. At this point, someone runs out of the bar. Looks around. It's like, what the actual hell is going on out here? And you hear from inside the voice of Argus being like, don't do it! Don't fight them! You saw what happened! Don't just put the fire out. Got it? Oh my, okay. Oh, alright. Hey, don't try any more bullshit. Alright? Pointing around at all of you, looking kind of lost.
No bullshit, just business.
Actual house. He's just gonna kind of sidle his way over with like a large flagon of water in hand towards the edge of the bar. You don't attack him as he passes, do you?
Nah.
Okay. He's gonna start trying to put out the remaining flames with his flagon and the rain bucket. At this point, I'll say, we're probably gonna be out of initiative order unless anyone else is gonna try anything. Any protests?
No.
This seems to have gone off without a hitch.
Mission accomplished. Okay. As a side note, Astel and Wilman, as you are making your way through the streets, you see in the distance a faint line of smoke in exactly the direction that Wilman is leading.
Pick up the pace
Bridget.
still.
Keep going, babe. You seem to know exactly where we need to go.
Yes. Though it's a little bit more obvious now.
Okay. Astel picks up the pace.
Okay. On the scene of the Black Eye, while things are quite tense, and you can feel every iota of resentment in these people's bodies directed at you for what has just gone down, they're savvy enough to not further mess around after that display of absolute mastery and power and frightening actions. As they're just gonna wait here in front of this bar as the bouncer, Margul, spits out the corner of her mouth to you. Alright, how it fucking works is this kid's partner in crime shows up about 30 minutes after he gets here usually. Shows us the hall that we get 50% of the cut of for protecting the kid. So if you'll just cool your goddamn jets and hang out and not do any crazy bullshit, for a half hour, you'll get what you came for. How's that fucking sound?
Does she
Okay.
seem to be on the level?
Roll an insight check. Asher, are you also trying to...
No, Asher's gonna take her at her word because she saw what the hell we just did, and it's easily can be done again. So he's treating this like a actual business deal.
Okay. Chipotle, she's furious. She is holding herself back physically from doing harm to the people around her. It's hard to tell if she's being 100% on the level, but maybe. Probably. She definitely wants to kill you, but don't think she's necessarily lying, maybe?
Okay. Yeah. Just cross my arms and wait.
Okay. You hear commotion from inside the bar, of course, and some patrons start streaming out, seeing the smoke. They kind of like rubberneck looking around at the damage and over at all of you, but if you make eye contact, they quickly look away and like hurry off down the streets. As the minutes tick by, eventually, Wilman and Astel make their way into the intersection.
Before they get there, and Asher asks the question with the orc lady being there as well.
Say that again?
Asher just wants to ask the kid a question.
Okay.
He'll just ask him like, "Have you ever actually been caught before doing this?"
Just tears and snot streaming down his face. Yeah, I get caught sometimes. Not like this. Usually Markula and Argus can handle people. At this, Margul kind of glares and shakes him by the scruff of his shirt. Hey, listen, this is kind of different than the usual people, okay? Don't be like, oh, usually they can handle people. This is on you, dipshit, for pissing off the wrong fucking people, looks like.
He'll just make the comment, "If you two feel comfortable, keep the same routine up. Just pick different marks next time, kid. Maybe ones that aren't packing weapons constantly."
I don't pick the marks. I just distract people.
Sure has nothing else to say to him. He just said his piece and he's just waiting for the fucking backpack.
As you hang around waiting, Wilman and Astel turn the corner and see this bizarre, tense, chaotic scene before you.
Mr. Locke.
As one of the bouncers is still trying to put out the fire on the side of the bar.
Care to explain why we could see smoke from down at the docks?
Tavern caught on fire.
Yes, I can see that. Why did it catch on fire?
The water over there decided to catch on fire. Just points to the fucking flaming entity at the roof area, like,
Served as motivation. And we have good news. The stolen property will soon be returned. You're welcome.
Astel glares over at Shavatul. I didn't think that you would do something like this.
oh, to be completely fair, I was just going off my play, really. I started the whole damn thing. Long story short, this kid here, you know, the one that you saved, play
Yes.
distraction. Members of his crew decided to take your shit. I tried to pay him coin or said backpack, and he decided to run. So life's full of hard lessons, and this one.
So after frightening a small child, you raise the stakes by assaulting these people?
Well, he was running to a safe haven, which means most of the time in my case and my line of work, they don't really want to talk. So I decided to skip that and just get to answers. How did you two make it here so damn quick?
You didn't leave a lot of subtlety.
Well, the fire just happened not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Can't imagine it has that much of a smoke trail. Especially on a coastal city. I mean, we tracked this kid up and down streets left and right. Pretty much since we left, that's all we've been doing. Why are you all here? I thought you guys were going to be on the boat.
We found a boat. It's going to be leaving in How
About
long
2
has it
hours
been?
now.
2 hours. Your eyes just trained on the crying kid, and pained expression is clearly visible.
Feel bad for this child, Estelle.
I never wanted anything to happen like this.
I hope the road travels. You had your heart in the right place. Sometimes that's just not good enough. I'd grow a thicker skin if I were you, sooner rather than later.
There's a difference between thick skin and being short-tempered.
I gave him every opportunity I'd give a grown man.
Except he's not a grown man.
No, but he wants to steal from grown people, so I'm not gonna treat him any differently. Life he leaves is hard. Been there, done that. Could be worse. Next people he steals from, it wasn't us. Could have just straight killed him.
I believe this has been an instructive day for all of us. The child has learned that there are consequences to the kind of things he does. These people have learned similar lesson. You, Astel, have learned not to trust people like him. I've learned a little bit more about Asher's methods. A positive day for everyone.
At 30 minutes. How much longer do we gotta wait for this person?
Maybe like 25 minutes or so have passed.
Has the porcupine came out of the bar at all?
No, he hasn't. He left a trail of blood after him. Most of the patrons, it seems, have abandoned the area. But it seems like the porcupine, as you put it, is taking his chances inside rather than stagger around the streets bleeding out.
And that blood stain by the door, that you're doing too?
Yeah. I offered to help him. They don't seem to want my help. Understandable to a degree, but what are you gonna do? My
That's all.
choices.
Walks away from you, Asher, and goes into the establishment.
Okay. Astel, you enter into the Black Eye. What was once a raucous tavern environment is now almost entirely deserted. You can see on the left side of the building the man outside still pouring water over the smoldering remains of a part of the wall. It's still standing. It looks like the fire might have eaten through the wood in a couple of places. But the only people inside are the barkeep, a slim-looking half-orc gentleman who is missing one tusk, who is in the middle of slowly trying to patch up this burly Earth Genasi bouncer who is bleeding all over the bar with 3 crossbow bolts sticking out of his gut in various places as the barkeep is in the middle of getting ready to pull one out while holding bandages to the wound. Okay, Argus, grit your teeth. This is not gonna be fun. Just hang in there, alright? Yeah, just get it out. Barkeep looks up as you walk in. Yeah, we're closed right now. Can I help you with something?
I wanted to help him. I can heal his wounds a lot better than... a lot faster, too.
Barkeep raises his eyebrows and looks you up and down. That's kind of you to offer. What's the price? What are we looking at? Argus is like, I'll if it's gold you want, I'll pay. I don't care. Just yes, please.
Estelle walks over, takes a knee and with both hands out, a light shines in the tavern. You can see it from the outside for just a second. A mix of purple, blue, green for just a split second as the wounds start to close up as the hands get close to there, and in that same motion taking this pulling out the bolts as fast and regaining 10 hit points in that same motion as the entryways close up.
Okay. You see the barkeep almost getting ready to interpose himself between you and Argus as you approach, but as your healing magic makes itself known, he kind of relaxes a bit and leans back against the bar as you do your work. And Argus gasps and coughs a bit as the bolts are removed, but kind of lets his head fall back against the bar and breathes a sigh of relief. Oh god, okay, that's better. That's better. Ugh. Thank you. Oh man, how much do I owe you? I'm a little short right now, but I'll pay you back. I'll come by twice a week if you need me to.
I'll take these bolts as payment.
Kind of opens one eye and looks at you. The bolts. That's all right. That it? Are we square?
That's it. We are.
Gives a confused nod.
Astel turns around and leaves the establishment.
So you walk out, back onto the street, and as you are walking back, you exit just as someone is approaching. Very slow moving tokens. As from a dirt path behind everyone, walking up comes this waifish human woman, her eyes darting around, taking in the scene. And on her back is this colorful patchwork backpack. Margul immediately points at her and is like, "Hey, yeah, our little arrangement, not gonna fucking cut it this time." She jabs her thumb over her shoulder at the still smoldering but mostly put out remains of the wall of the bar. As this woman looks around at all of you. Looks over at Silas, who is still in the middle of wailing and crying in Margul's grip. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. As the woman just kind of looks down, shakes her head a bit, and just wordlessly slides the backpack off her back and tosses it over towards Asher's feet, who's closest.
Can I have an insight check on her?
Sure. What are you trying to discern?
She's kind of trying to read her attitude when she looks over at Silas.
This woman looks like she's had a lot of practice schooling her facial features. But as she glances over at Silas's current state of being, you see a brief flicker of something cross her face. What is that something? Is it annoyance? Is it protectiveness? Hard to say. She simply tosses the backpack at your feet, takes a step back, and glances over towards Margul, jerking her chin in Silas's direction. Margul doesn't let go and just looks over at everyone. That it? You got everything? Better fucking make sure, because I'm not dealing with this bullshit if you come back here because you forgot something.
Asher just picks up the backpack and tosses it to Estelle and tells her to check it.
Estelle throws you in return the 3 bloody bolts. And checks her bag. Does it look like
Check your
everything's
bag.
there?
Make me an investigation check.
Fuck. Could have just said yes or no. Holy shit!
Goddamn.
She knows her trinkets.
Everything is there. Every trinket is still there. It's definitely been rooted through and moved around a bunch and jostled, but nothing has been taken out yet.
It's all there. We'll leave now. Estelle already is beginning to head back to the ship.
I would actually have business with you, looking at Margul.
Asher starts walking away, just saying. But you're doing business. Wonderful day.
You hear the sound of Margul's teeth gritting as you walk away, and she glances over at Wilman, still holding on to the kid's scruff. What? What is it?
How much for their contract?
Her eyebrows draw together at this, and she glances over at the woman and Silas before looking back at Wilman.
The way I
What do you
see,
mean, contract?
I mean, you have a deal with them, yes? An exclusivity deal? They steal things, you protect them for stealing those things.
You see Margul release Silas as he kind of drops to the ground in a little heap. And she just kind of dusts her hands off and folds her arms. I think you got the wrong idea, buddy. It's not really a contract, more of a gig deal. The kid, and the, whatever that lady is, do their shit. If people chase the kid, he gets in trouble. Comes here, we get 50% of the haul. She glances over towards the woman. I mean, their ideal scenario is he never gets to come here. They don't have to worry about paying us 50% of their bullshit, right? So the woman kind of gives a sharp nod and gestures towards Silas to get up.
I see.
Mind you, had a gig deal, glaring over at them. If you're gonna bring bullshit like this to our door, that's done now. I don't ever want to see either of your faces again. Got that? The woman just gives a shrug. Okay, alright, I'm sorry. Silas is like scrambling up and hurrying back towards the woman. She just kind of starts corralling him down the path without moving herself, still looking at everyone.
Now hold on, just the two of you.
She turns towards you. At this point, Margul just kind of dusts her hands off, gives 2 middle fingers over her shoulder, and walks back toward the bar. Alright, fire looks out. Let's fucking deal with the damage that's been done inside. Alright. Let's do that. So they kind of disappear into the bar.
I think as they're heading back in, Chothel's gonna start heading with the others. He's gonna give a brief smirk at the scorch marks and say, gives it character. Kind of like a black eye. And head out.
You see Margul seething at this. The other man who was called out of the bar kind of pauses as you say this and glances over at the scorch marks. Gives a slight nod as he goes back in.
I think enough time has passed that Ubanak would also go away, because he's only here for an hour.
As your wildfire spirit, still hovering ominously over the top of this wooden building, just suddenly fizzles into a shower of sparks that drift threateningly down toward the wooden roof before disappearing just above it. Wilnan, you're left with this woman and the child who has paused mid-walk as the woman just stands there staring at you, unmoving.
I take it that this life of thievery is the one left to you?
She just looks at you.
A comment the Margul made, whatever she is. Could I roll the perception check to try and determine that?
Perception check to determine...
Whatever she
What was
is.
it, sorry?
Margul made a
Oh.
comment.
Sure, go for it. Roll a perception check.
$14?
As you stare at this lady, it's hard to say. She just kind of looks like some regular woman in her mid-20s, maybe? Normal looking, brown hair, simple clothes, but not dirty or threadbare. Long cloak.
Another question.
just standing perfectly straight and still and just staring at you and not saying anything.
Another question I have is, do I remember seeing this lady at the docks?
Roll a history check.
$16.
Searching back through your memory, you wouldn't have thought anything of it. She just looks up like a regular lady. But now that you think about it, you vaguely remember seeing that particular style of cloak at the docks.
But I don't remember seeing her.
Not specifically. Without breaking eye contact, she just kind of reaches over and lightly shoves at Silas's shoulder. Silas, glances up and glances at Wilman and slowly starts backing away down the path.
I don't like particularly seeing children in this lifestyle. I wonder if perhaps a change of scenery would be good for the two of you. As well as the potential of gainful employment, should you convince our employers.
She stares at you. Her expression is unchanging. After a long, roll a persuasion check.
Alright, here I go. Hey, it's bad.
After a long pause, she just slowly turns away, still looking at you until she finishes the arc of her turn, and will just walk away down the path with Silas unless you do anything. Silas glances over his shoulder towards you as they go.
What about
Do you do
you,
anything?
child? Do you wish for a change of scenery?
Silas kind of pauses. And the woman pauses beside him, not looking back, but just stopping. And he's rubbing his tear-stained face. I'm okay here.
I'm just trying to give you a choice. What I think might be your first choice. Or the first opportunity of one.
He thinks of that. He glances up at the woman. And then he glances back at you. I need to stay here. I need to stay here. I have a job to do. I don't want her to be by herself. At this, you see the woman do what looks like a full body eye roll. She kind of like shoves the kid's shoulder again to get him moving.
I want to do another insight check on that.
Go ahead.
Because that doesn't really sound like how you would describe your own mother. Not to me, at least.
Mm-hmm. The woman is very good at hiding her facial expressions. The kid, on the other hand, not so much. You see, like, a mixture of different emotions regarding this kid and how he views this person next to him. And there's, like, he seems genuinely protective, but in that little kid way where you want to protect people even though they're very clearly more capable than you are. There's also some unease. You feel like it's probably not the healthiest parent-child relationship. And looking at them, like, their features don't look that similar. But he clearly wants to stick by her side for whatever reason. And seems convinced for whatever reason that she's not going to leave Westgate. At this point, she's like shooing him down the path.
I need her to make a con save.
Ooh, okay.
That is not enough. As she is suddenly lift up from the ground and almost instantaneously is brought back over directly in front of me.
Okay. She is bodily lifted into the air as Silas kind of yelps, glancing behind him. Ah, what are you doing? She doesn't look fazed by this. She still looks calm as she kind of looks down at you.
As I said, I don't like seeing children in this situation. And I want to hear it from you that you care about this child.
She stares down at you.
She's on the ground now. She is free to move.
Oh, you brought her back down? Okay.
It's only an instantaneous thing.
Gotcha. She looks at you. She opens her mouth. She opens her mouth wide. Looking in, you see the stub of what was once a tongue. She's not telling you anything.
But I'd like to try and read her.
Go ahead. One more insight check as Silas starts running back down the path. And you're distracted from her expression as Silas kind of starts trying to get between you bodily and like shove you away from her. Get away! Get away!
Think about my offer. You've 2 hours to do so. Before then, after that, we'll be gone from the city. And I fear that that will be your last chance at a real choice. And Wilnan will leave.
Okay. Do you glance back as you leave, or do you just look straight forward?
I think as I turn the corner, I look back.
They're still there. The woman hasn't moved. Her gaze has turned down slightly. The kid is like looking up at her and talking. You can't really hear the words as well from this distance. But sounds like a chipper tone. Maybe trying to cheer her up. That's all as you turn the corner. And move to catch up with the rest of your allies. As you all regroup in the streets of Westgate. At this point, it's been like an hour, 15 minutes, I believe, since you originally left the docks. And it took about 30 minutes to make your way through the streets from the docks here. What you up to?
You're saying that we have plenty of time for another adventure.
Oh god.
No, I'm now realizing we only have an hour left, right?
Well, it was 3 hours total.
Huh?
You've used up an hour and a half. I mean, you will have used up an hour and a half if you make your way back to the dock from here, because it takes 30 minutes.
Okay.
So you've got an hour and a half to work with, roughly?
Okay. Then it would have said that instead of 2 hours.
You got it.
It's been an awkward and silent walk back to the port, to the dock, as Estelle has not said a single word.
For some, not for others. Asher's just following Estelle because he's walking to the boat, so he doesn't know which fucking boat it is.
Yeah.
I think I agree with you, Mr. Locke. I hope that we don't have any more encounters like this.
Go my honesty. The road's worse than the cities.
You think so?
Cities you have a chance to live. Which you're skilled at living in the wilderness. Chances of survival out there is a lot less.
Maybe physically? But surviving spiritually, I feel that the city's is much more crushing. I worry it may have already crushed yours.
I've never liked the city. That's why I always got a job and immediately, once it was done, get another one. Didn't stay too long in it. Left as quickly as I arrived, got paid, moved on. Very much like I'm assuming all of us, we all have a past that may or may not haunt us from time to time.
If only. In any case, speaking of getting out of the city, we only have an hour and a half to get back to the boat before they leave without us. So no detours. Oh, I should also mention,
Saving
part of the deal was the two of you working as deckhands.
Very well. It will fill the time.
I'll give it a shot.
Just the two of us?
No, you won't be alone. You'll be working with the crew, of course. Or are you speaking of myself and Estelle?
Yes.
Well, I will be working as the cook, which, for a full complement crew, is a full-time job. I don't actually recall what Estelle's part of the deal was. I think she also suggested being a deckhand, so Estelle will work beside you as well. Although, after today's events, probably not physically.
Still just silence from her.
But we have a long journey ahead of us. Let's try not to sour it on the first day.
Looking at Estelle, because she's in front, I'm slightly behind her. Asher just utters, "Too late for that. Whatever ship we're on, let's just get to it and get out of here and get to where we need to be."
Asher, do you want to do an insight check?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't care.
Okay.
No, he doesn't care enough to, like, whatever mood Estelle's in his mind, get over it, or it's gonna get worse. Or it gets any close to getting better. Just so you know, like,
Alright.
Asher's an older fucking guy, alright? He's not a young dude.
Mm-hmm.
Just curious.
Like, I've
Okay,
seen
dude.
shit. Oh, fuck off. Back in my day.
Oh, please, I keep hearing all of you complaining about old age is getting to me. I'm 3 times as old as you. And you don't hear me complaining.
What was the name of our ship that we're on again?
Did we get the name? I think we did get
I
the
don't
name.
know.
Yes. Greener pastures.
Oh.
That's the one.
Uh-huh.
Do we know who the captain is of that ship?
Yes. It's Captain Westel? Westel?
Captain Westall.
Westel. Okay.
As you make your way back toward the docks and back towards the greener pastures that await you. The ship is, thankfully, still at harbor. It looks like the crew have mostly finished loading cargo. The mess from earlier has been cleaned up. There are just a couple of stray barrels to be loaded that they're slowly working on. They're mostly preparing the ship for its coming voyage.
Asher's gonna try and find the captain. First mate, someone in charge.
Okay. As you climb aboard the ship, one of the people aboard, this older looking man, kind of straightens up and glances over at you and is like, "Oh, whoa, hold on. Who's this? Guys, do we know this man?" As the crew glance at each other and shrug their shoulders.
I'm part of the package deal that your captain or someone made with fellow travelers.
He's with us. Part of Lord Zahir's entourage.
Alright, sure. Welcome aboard. Your liege lord or whatever is making himself at home already. Just so you know, you were volunteered to do some work aboard the ship while you're taking this voyage. That sound right?
I'm told. Came to find someone in charge to tell me what the hell needs to be done.
Alright, great. Well, you're looking at the first mate. So, nice to meet ya. My name's Ludnor. I'll be herding this gaggle of cats, I guess, for the duration of this voyage, as he's glancing around at this very patchwork group who are in various states of distress. Alright, gather round. Alright, raise your hand if you've got any experience on a sailing vessel before. Raises his hand. Looks around expectantly. Does anyone raise their hand? That sounds like a big no.
On water?
Just kind of looks at you. Yeah?
No.
Okay, great. Awesome. Got a bunch of greenhorns. Love it. Love to see it. Well, we've got lots of different tasks aboard the greener pastures. I don't know if you're good at muscles, lift stuff around here. We got a few barrels left to get into the cargo hold. Once we get on the water, we'll probably ask for your help when it comes to hoisting the sails, rigging, stuff like that. Anyone good at tying knots? Never mind, we're not trusting you with knots on this ship. Anybody love staring at an unchanging expanse of sea for hours, looking for anything that's out of place? Got any good eyes around here?
Slowly
I wouldn't
creeps
use the
away.
word love.
Asher just
Yeah,
slowly
well, you're
raises
gonna
her.
love it while you're aboard this ship. All right, we finally got a taker. Great. Up there's the crow's nest. Ever heard of that before? That's where you're gonna be spending some of your time here, if you don't mind. We like to keep watch. Most voyages are pretty safe, but there's always occasional risks of piracy and whatnot, so if you spot any black flags or ships making directly for us or any other shady stuff going on, you shout down to us from up there. How's that sound? Sorry, earphone's dying. I missed that. What was that?
He just said, "Got it." Make a loud noise.
Perfect. Alright, as for the rest of you lot, I don't know, find something to do. You see people struggling with tasks, offer them help. It's not that hard, they'll show you what to do. Got any questions?
How long is this going to take? The voyage itself?
Great question! If everything goes according to plan, we don't get any nasty headwinds. Should take about 3 days. Or at least where you're hopping off. You're getting off at Cloth, right?
I believe so.
Right?
Yes.
Alright, good. They know where they're going. That's a start. Cool. Alright, so help out any way you think you can while you're around. Any other questions? Oh, you're a talkative lot. Okay, well, I guess welcome aboard. You! Points at Wilman.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to seeing what you can do. I haven't seen the captain rave about a meal in years like that. So, welcome aboard.
Right. I actually would like to speak with your former cook about this.
Oh boy, this'll be interesting. Alright, I'll show you down to the galley. Everybody else, make yourself comfy, I guess.
Estelle gets to stacking and putting away the last of the barrels.
Okay.
Asher climbs up to the crow's nest.
Mm-hmm.
We were ordered to make ourselves comfortable, so. Hey, you said it, not me. Chvatal does go down, check where the berths are, make sure there's space for his stuff, and then goes up and finds ways to be useful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks
Does-
like they have a fairly sizable, oh gosh, what's the room called? Sleeping quarters. Let's go with sleeping quarters. Yeah, lots of hammocks throughout the center. The edges have, like, what look like bunk cots. they're all right. Seems like an order of seniority thing, where the higher ranking members have bunks and everyone else has a hammock. But yeah, you can. It seems like the bunks are the only ones with chests to store stuff. Some of the hammocks have like sacks under them.
Hammock is actually fine, as long as there's a place to put belongings.
Looks like most people using hammocks are just kind of plopping them under their hammocks.
Good enough.
Not the most secure, but some kind of code of honor here, I guess.
I mean, we're going to be out at sea, so where is there for a thief to go?
Indeed.
Chvatal will, like, when he's back up on deck, looking around for things to do, will remark to whichever crew member is nearest, like, I'm unaccustomed with officers asking for opinions. So, what kind of a ship does this captain run?
As you ask among the crewmates, they kind of look at each other. One younger looking crewmate got some like frizzy hair, freckles, looks like he's still a teenager maybe, is kind of like, I mean, it's a pretty nice gig. I mean, command's pretty reasonable. Captain Westall's a pretty nice guy for the most part. Just, you know, don't dump his wares overboard and you'll be just fine.
It'll be just fine.
Yeah. So don't worry, new guy. There probably won't be any harsh orders you'll have to deal with. I was nervous too on my first day here, but everyone's real nice here.
I'm not nervous about the voyage. At least not with getting along with the crew.
Alright, but I mean, if you ever are, you can talk to me about it. I'll be an ear whenever you need. My name's Marlin. Nice to meet you. Kind of sticks a hand out.
Schwaddle looks at his hand for a second and reluctantly grasps it. Schwaddle.
He shakes your hand, and as you say your name, he's like, Chvatal. Okay, got it, Chvatal. Nice to meet you. Think you're gonna be a great addition. Okay, see you around, new guy. As he'll head off and start helping with the rigging. Meanwhile, well then, you are being led down into the galley.
Mm-hmm.
And as you enter into the little kitchen area of the hold of the ship, you see this older tiefling gentleman, a little knob-backed, just kind of grumbling to himself as he is rapidly moving stuff around and reorganizing things that looked to have been in a bit of a mess. He glances over his shoulder as you and the first mate are approaching. first mate is like, "Oh, Capesley, you're still here. Yeah, I mean, we already told you you can relax for this voyage. And have you finished reorganizing your stuff so it's not in just piles everywhere for our temporary interim chef?" He's like, "Oh, have you finished Listen, this is my space. I shouldn't have to reorganize it. Anytime you want to bring in fresh meat," he kind of glares at Wilnan. "But yeah, I'm just finishing up. Thanks for asking." Looking around, the place is in semi-reasonable shape. There are still kind of piles of utensils and stuff everywhere. Several unclean dishes that are just laying around.
A pleasure to meet you. My name is Wilnan.
Glares at you. Capesley. Pleasure.
Now, as I understand it, your crew seems to have a great displeasure when it comes to your cooking.
He kind of rolls his eyes at this. A bunch of babies. Listen, just because they can't handle a refined palate doesn't mean there's a problem with my cooking, alright? I'm sick of hearing all the complaints. It's on them if they're little picky eaters, alright? When you're out at sea, you eat what's nutritious and what you got available and you deal with it. Am I right?
Well, of course, nutrition is important, but presentation is also important. And part of presentation is how it tastes.
His eyes narrow. It tastes fine. Tastes fine. It's just standard fare, alright? Listen, I've been friends with Captain Westall for years and years, and not once has he ever said, "Oh, hey, Capesley, your grub tastes like shit," you know? Like, I would have heard it from him first. So don't come at me with, "Oh, taste is important." Listen, you do things how you want to do them. We'll see if you do a better job, alright? Kind of like slams a pan down where he had been moving it. Grumbles to himself. He's gonna kind of like sidle his way out from behind the little counter aisle.
Very well. I suppose then I will see you at dinner.
Looking forward to it as he walks away. All the while, the first mate has been standing there with his arms folded, with this expression of barely suppressed glee on his face. It's like, "Oh, man. This is gonna be great. So glad you're here, Mr. Wilnan, was it?"
Yes.
Kind of claps you on the back. "Don't take it personally. He's like that with everyone. And, maybe this will give him a bit of a shake-up. Give him an idea of, hey, I guess I better get my game stepped up."
Sometimes people
So,
just need
do
a
your
taste
best.
of the finer things in order to realize what it really is.
I guess so. Well, looking forward to getting that taste myself, too. You need anything? Let me know. I'd say let Capesley know, but we know how that's gonna go, so just let me know, alright?
I will contact who I need to. But don't you
Great.
worry. I
Best
can
of luck in
manage.
here. Good, good. Then see you at dinner. He'll stroll out.
Alright, and so Wilnan begins to work his magic, literally.
So, with that, let's get into everyone's time on the greener pastures. So this is going to be a skill challenge. So,
Super fun.
here's how it's going to work. Everybody, please, we're going to one by one do a roll of your choice that will depict how you are helping out aboard the greener pastures. So you can roll any skill check you want as long as you can justify what you're doing that requires that skill check that would help in some way aboard the greener pastures. If everyone rolls well, hey, awesome. The ship is gonna have smooth sailing, maybe even cut some time off your journey. If everyone doesn't roll well, we'll find out. So think about it, and whoever has any idea of what they would like to roll and how they would like to aid the ship, let me know. I think Wilman already has his.
Yes, I'd like to say that I would like to roll cooking because I am cooking.
Absolutely. I would hope that would be your role. Otherwise, I would be a little concerned.
I guess.
Oh boy.
I guess the kitchen needed a lot of cleaning.
Oh boy. Yeah, no. The kitchen was indeed a mess. It was very difficult to find utensils. Stuff had to be cleaned freshly. It was rough. So you're able to put together some basic fare, but it's definitely not your best work. It's meh. It's alright. A little below average for you, definitely. The crew, they don't complain. If anything, you see them kind of nodding at each other over dinner, being like, I mean, better than we had.
I hear that and be like,
Capesley just kind of...
Damn. Kingsley, what have you been feeding me?
Capesley just kind of glares around sourly, takes a couple of mouthfuls of your meals every time you serve something, pushes the bowl away, and doesn't eat anything else. He's gonna lose some weight over this voyage.
Yes. I also had another question. Did I receive any responses?
That's a great question, and I've been too distracted to answer it.
Okay.
But I will get to it, I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's a lot, I know.
I be juggling. In the meantime, so we've got one skill check rolled. That's gonna be a failure. Who else wants to go?
Well, clarifying question. Is this a roll for
Yes.
the first day or the voyage?
I was gonna do these for the voyage as a whole. Unless you would like to change that to the first day, I will give... this will be a democracy.
Well, the voyage is what I was hoping for, because as a Githyanki, I have the ability to change some of my proficiencies due to astral knowledge. So, probably be a rough first day, but from then onward, I could be proficient with water vehicles.
Okay, that's true. That's true.
Is this something
Okay,
you will
let's see,
allow?
so if it's for the whole voyage, which is supposed to take 3 days, and there's a rough first day, I will let you have proficiency on that roll if you take a -1 to the skill check as a whole.
Okay.
Wait, what's proficiency bonus at this point?
Oh, it's 2?
2! Never mind, you don't have to take the -1. Take your proficiency.
Okay. Let me just switch that around a little bit so I am now proficient with water vehicles. Yes. True. Well, this is a
Am I
democracy.
able to donate Estelle's inspiration for Wilnan to get a better cooking chance?
Estelle, what do you say or do to help Wilnan feel more inspired and motivated in the galley? As he's in there, just surrounded by piles of utensils that he's struggling to organize somewhat and clean, while he is attempting to also cook at the same time for a whole crew's worth of people.
Let me know if this would work. But where Estelle comes from, the sight of many dishes, plates, and silverware stacked on high is not something that is uncommon from where she is. And her her helping around with the rest of her people is something of a art unto itself. They take cooking and food very seriously. Could Estelle help through a performance, would you say? Of going from dish to dish, cleaning in a almost rhythmic and rather graceful way.
Interesting. Are you trying to make this your skill check roll to help out, or are you just trying to give inspiration to Wilnan?
Both.
Both. Interesting. I'll let you do it, yeah. If it's a success, Wilnan will get inspiration.
Okay.
And just narrowly,
Ooh.
it is indeed a success.
It's a little shaky at first, Wilnan, as you see Estelle coming in to the site of the kitchen, and still has that more stoic face on, but she offers you help with the kitchen, and you realize that once things get moving, she starts cleaning up the dishes, and it's almost like this 1-2 where before you even realize it, the kitchen is in workable condition.
Why, thank you, Estelle. This should have looked greatly. I say before I roll.
She gives a simple nod. There we go. There we fucking go.
Hey. Wilman, your first meal that you serve is as described. But after Astel lends a hand and helps you get things settled and situated in the kitchen, you come into your own. And you remind everybody why Captain Westall has been raving about your soup for the past day. Even through the first meal, Captain Westall was like, not bad, but just you wait, just you wait. And sure enough, the next meal you serve, the atmosphere around the table is raucous, as you've got people seemingly on the verge of laughter, just out of sheer gratitude of having a meal that doesn't taste like cardboard for once. And not only that, but is quite delicious. As everyone is in high spirits, you get a lot of compliments on your cooking, and Capesley is a miserable, miserable man for the whole duration.
At some point during the trip, I would like to confront Capesley.
You may do so after our other skill challenges.
Of course.
What do we got? What do we got?
Okay. What? I don't know of an attribute that you use with water vehicles.
Athletics?
Well, it's a skill itself. Like, I'd get my proficiency, but I don't know.
Like what the
What skill
proficiency
would
That's
you
a
use
good question.
for water vehicles.
Slapping strength or dexterity?
Yeah. If I could use dexterity with water vehicles. That's the thing, though. Does it make sense, or is it more strength?
Depends on what you're trying to
Let
do.
me check.
If I try to go to my new best buddy, Marlin, be like, so is this how you tie this knot? And start tying knots that I did not know how to tie the previous day.
Okay, yeah, if you put it that way, yeah, I'll definitely let you tack that proficiency onto a dexterity check. As Marlin shows you the ropes.
1d4 psychic damage, everybody.
So yes. Somehow
Oh,
24.
Oh,
Holy.
alright.
Those are immaculate knots.
damn.
Who taught you this?
The stars.
As you go to Marlin, and he lights up seeing you come to him for advice, as he is one of the newer members, but he, with gusto, takes to trying to show you the basics of ship knots, and seems blown away when you not only quickly follow in his example, but seem to kind of get ahead of him and know what you're doing very well as you tie some very complex and very, very stable knots as he just looks on in amazement. Oh, well, you must have done this a lot before. What were you coming to me about? You're really good at this.
You must just be a natural.
Wow, I wish I was that much of a natural. Can you show me how you're doing some of that?
Yes. So you grip it with this hand and tighten here.
Uh-huh.
And then the rabbit goes around the hole 7 times.
Okay, rabbit, alright.
And then he plunges into the dragon's maw.
Kind of looks up from paying attention and just stares at you like, oh, okay. Ooh, you must have had a really interesting teacher.
Yes.
And just like that, the student has become the mentor. As you do a fantastic job with the rigging.
Cool.
All right. What you thinking, Asher?
It's Asher's job's up in the crow's nest. I was thinking perception seems like the obvious one, but I want to actually try to go for nature. Just keep an eye on the weather, and if out in the horizon, if I see any storms brewing or forming, inform the helmsman and instruct him that it is either close, far, or whatnot to make our voyage as smooth as possible.
Also a vital role aboard any sailing vessel, so please go ahead. Okay, so with that, from your position up in the crow's nest, you keep an eye on the skies and on the waves, and you do catch at one point late into your first day on the job that there are some low-lying clouds drifting in from the sea that seem to be rain clouds. Doesn't look like a full-on storm, but definitely unpleasant and heading in your way as you clock that in time to inform the helmsman. And with that information, they steer a little bit closer to the shore, trying to make up for some time and get in front of the rain, or at the very least, be close enough to passing cities that they can dock if things get ugly. And with that, everybody does so well at their tasks. The crew is in high spirits. The helmsman is amply informed of any incoming weather. The rigging is stable and strong and will not bend or break for anything. And the chef has been adequately supported so that he can continue to do his best work. You guys are able to save half a day of travel. Your 3-day trip is a 2.5-day trip, and things go more smoothly than they otherwise might have. Captain Westall is extremely happy to have all of you aboard. Doesn't even mind that one of you is just chilling in his little room and not really doing anything, and just relaxing and letting people bring him food. The captain's like, this is well worth it.
They're here living the sweet life.
Hard being royalty, man.
Mm-hmm.
Work voyage for some, pleasure cruise for others.
Can I get in a word, say one of the nights when we're getting ready to end a shift?
Yes. But I think I promised Max.
Oh, yes.
What did I promise you? I thought there was something else.
You wanted to dress down the old chef?
Oh, yes.
Oh, right! You wanted to talk to Capesley.
Yes.
Thank you, Colin. I'll get right back to you after this. Okay, after the much celebrated first meal that goes really well. Yeah, Capesley just kind of takes a few bites, gets a look on his face, it's like, damn, it's actually good. Can't help himself but have half of his bowl, and then leaves it behind and kind of storms away, muttering to himself. One of the other crewmates quickly snatches up the rest of it, mind you. But yes, you are able to follow him where he is hanging out in the sleeping quarters. Yeah, what? What do you want? You come here to brag? Sure, your food's good. Congrats.
Yes. And unfortunately for your crew, I believe we're only going to have one more meal after this one.
Yeah, well, they'll get used to having hearty, regular fare after this anyway. So, thanks for your concern, but we'll be fine.
Oh. Alright then. Here I was going to offer to teach you a little bit, but if you don't want it.
Roll a persuasion check with advantage.
Thank you for the advantage. I'm really bad at these.
Mm-hmm.
I sure am really bad at these.
Oh, no!
no. Just comes off as like the snarkiest thing ever.
Yeah. The advantage was from your cooking, but even with that on your side, you see the older tiefling's face just sour at this. He's like, "Oh, you want to teach me how to do my job, huh? Come in here for a couple of days? Think you're hot stuff? Think you can cook for a whole ship reliably with delicious, amazing gourmet food for more than 3 days at a time? Oh, excuse me, I didn't realize I was in the presence of greatness." Kind of pokes a finger at your chest. "Listen, bud, when you're gone, I'll forget all about this gourmet stuff. And remember that the most important thing is staying healthy and having a full belly. So get out of my face."
Very well. I think
Do we?
Wilnan isn't going to try and convince him anymore, but Wilnan will leave like a little note in the kitchen of like some tips that could just make his food just a little bit more tasty. Tip 1, use salt.
You leave behind some tips in your note. As at some point, the first mate passing by is like, "Oh man, your cooking is amazing, really good. Saw your note. I know, right? The guy never uses salt. Salt is one of our prime exports. You could just literally crack a barrel and toss some on there. I hope he takes your advice, bud. But hey, you know, if you ever feel like coming back, want a job aboard a vessel, I'm sure we could pull a few strings with the captain.
I'll consider it, but at the moment my journeys take me landwards.
Alright, well, we're gonna take advantage of every day we've got you with us in the meantime. Claps you on the back as he walks away. Chvatal. Chvatal? Chvatal.
So yeah, I'd say like during the second day, there are a couple of times when Chvatal is passing Astel, and he kind of like takes in a breath, as if he's about to say something, then shakes his head and moves on. And at a different time when, like I was going for, when we're ending a shift, it does that again, but then this time actually opens his mouth like, I know some of you are upset with how Asher and I handled the situation. I'm not going to apologize. I think it was an ideal solution. But our survival is going to depend on being able to predict what each of us is going to do. On trust, in a sense, and at least some knowledge of each other. We don't have to hash it out here, but we need to have an understanding how we're going to handle things.
This is the first time that Estelle has looked back at you on the ship so far, Chvatal. And you don't see any emotion on her face. It's very much blank. And cool and concise words come out. I'm not angry. I blame myself for the occurrences that happened and not being the one to do those or prevent them. You've done what you could in your own ways. I do not dismiss that. I assure you that I am trying my hardest to make sure the mission is a success, because I need it to. Eyes maintaining contact.
Very well, then. Let me clarify, because I don't think you accepted the actions that we took. Take this as an exercise in leadership. What would you have done in our place?
gives it just a second before the bodyguards at the front. I would have first confronted them with words, and if that broke down, I would find myself using non-lethal force to shake some sense into them. And then broker from there. The results may have been similar. But not as extreme as what I saw. I find that when you deal in heavy hands and make a lot of enemies, it will come back tenfold upon you.
I will think on this. I am not used to having to think about my enemy's feelings. This is a different world,
It is.
and I don't have the backup that I'm used to. That's not disparaging you, just things are different.
They're quite different here. I was meaning to talk to Asher and clear things up. I appreciate setting things on the level. Now, if you excuse me, I'm gonna find Asher.
Very well. Just also know I will make an effort to take what you said to heart. And I will also do what's necessary to ensure that we survive. But yes, have your conversation with Asher.
Shajal, can I get an insight check from you?
Okay. Ooh.
The stoic face there, it's hard to read as still at the moment. Originally she was brimming with this fire, this like confrontation, and also this needless compassion for the kid, but what you get for just a slim second is it almost looks like a small smile on her face when you say that. But
A smile.
it's still this.
Is this in response to the comment about survival? or about taking what you said to heart?
You can't tell, but it immediately goes back to that stoic, and turns over to the crow's nest, which which Estel's assuming Asher's still up there keeping watch.
It gets kind of boring up there, so he's probably just whittling little figures and shit, trying to keep his mind occupied instead of staring off into the nothingness of the horizon.
Room for two. You hear Faz at Asher as Estel has climbed up.
I was wondering who that was coming up here. You just see him taking a little piece of wood with a carving knife, just digging into it. Occasionally he looks up, looks out, see. Yeah, it's not my ship. Granted, I don't fucking like boats.
Estel hops in. I was meaning to clear the air. I am not angry or take anything that you or Shvatel did to heart. I'm blame my own inactions for what I could have done if I was there. But I seek to do the best and succeed for this mission that we're on.
It's down his tools for a second.
Her eyes not really looking at you, but looking at that horizon that you've been sometimes staring at.
How many times have you done something like this? With how many people?
Something like what?
Get a group of strangers together, pay them a handsome amount of coin, do a task. How many times has that happened in your life? How many times have you signed up to sleep next to someone you just met the same day on a boat, random city you've never been to, out in the wilderness? How many times has that occurred in your life?
I was picked up by strangers that became family, and then taken in by other strangers that became family. And soon, a community. That's been my life.
Not so different, you and I, from the sounds of it. I've been with 8 named companies and countless nameless ones. I have more people I've worked with than I can remember. And I've been doing this since I was a young kid. One thing I picked up in my time of doing this, especially after in the early years, being too scared to do something, Words only get you so far. And very much like when Wilden decided to confront me, I told him God's honest truth. I gave that kid a choice. I was going to pay him for information just to get your fucking bag back. You know, I wasn't going to just give him a coin. I've been in his shoes before, doing things that in a law-abiding city, either your hand goes away or you do. I wanted to help the kid. But I can't let sentiment like that keep me away from what I need to do. So if I have coin on me, I use it pretty much as first and last resort. If coin doesn't work, then we can't do business and most likely scrap. The kid ran from us. Hell, I talked up a big game with I tried to scare a kid. Didn't work out. He ran. Saw that coming. I was hoping the coin would fix it. Then I tracked him down that tavern. I'm not oblivious. He was running towards the two people at the door, so I'm not a people person per se. I'm more along the lines of pay me, get a job done, and it's going to get done. So I shot one of them 3 times with my crossbow.
I
I'm
pulled out
happy I
those
didn't
bolts.
kill him. Oh yeah, no, I still got him right here. Appreciate that. Pretty scarce out there in the road.
Mm-hmm.
Happy I didn't kill him. Before you all showed up, I offered to aid him. Didn't seem to want it. I understand. Tensions were very high. But I will give everyone one choice. That is it. Actions have consequences. I know that more than most. And he kind of just stares off, not into the horizon, like kind of 1,000 yards staring at.
Oops. It still looks over at the far, far gaze. You asked me back at the pier why I gave that kid a gold coin. Why I helped him. What was my reason for doing it?
I don't know, because you're a good person.
If it was such a noble goal. Asher, do you believe in the sins of your ancestors?
believe in my end.
Unfortunately, many do. And they have sticked with my kind horrible things. But we're doing what we can to change that perception. So that we justify our existence. To be here. I'm sure the moment that Schwartel finds out what I am, he'll go straight for my head.
Yeah, I just found out that Jalal is something called a
Githyanki.
Gith. And I don't know shit about them. So, what are you besides very shiny?
I'm known as a mock.
I didn't know a Gith. You probably don't know shit about a mock, so he's gonna be like, what?
Creatures that existed in far stars above. Our race was used as a weapon of war, sent out to kill and eat and destroy those that opposed our Creator's will.
Are you like vegetarian, like Wilnan then, or something?
We eat everything. But as time has gone on and we've learned and evolved to be more civilized, our palates have been more refined. Wilnan really does make a fantastic tomato soup. Reminds me of home. There's a smile that kind of breaks through.
Careful, you keep doing it, it might stay like that for a while.
Might be.
I'm gonna be honest with you. On this travel, on this journey that we're taking, if you thought my actions were extreme in a city, pray that nothing happens to us on the road. Believe in a God or whoever, pray to him. Because I'm pretty confident you and Wilden are not gonna like what you see come out of me if anything happens. I will promise that you all will get back. I won't say without a scratch. You're probably gonna have a few bumps, bruises, maybe even a couple of scars to tell, you know, whoever it is that you share a bed with at night. I don't expect to make friends with the two of you, but I will work with you two. Try my damnedest to get you back home. All I can offer.
And I'll offer in return. If we can find common ground here like this, then it can happen elsewhere on the road. People that just met. I'm a lot better with people than you, Asher.
I'm sure it should not.
And as long as we are together for this mission, I assure you that you'll be coming home with a lot fewer bruises and nicks.
Kind of like leans towards a little bit. So, you know, that's kind of one part of the job. As long as they're not too deep or too terrible. A scar that here or there ain't a bad thing.
You should treasure yourself a bit more.
I care about myself. But the scars that I have remind me of the people I fought beside, whether they're here or not. I can look back. That scar was with someone that I cared about, befriended. That person will live with me forever. And our story will be told every time someone asks, "Did you get it?"
Estelle almost freezes for a second when you say this. And you see a small single crystalline tear start to run down her right eye. There's no whining, there's no noise or anything like that, no gasp. It's just, you just see the tear roll out, and there's just this kind of like strange befuddlement or shock. You don't really know what to make of it. That's is the way to look at it.
You see his hand move from his whittling knife to this scimitar that's attached to the back underneath his cloak. And he just keeps his hand there, not in a aggressive manner, more like holding on to something that holding on to something and remembering a moment in his life. And under his breath, if you pay close attention, he utters a couple of names. Kyrie, Shay. Hope y'all are doing well. Anyways, I gotta get back to looking at nothing and telling them that bad weather's about to happen.
Right. I'll leave you to it then. You see Estelle begin to turn and leave, and you hear a little thin tink tink on the bottom or on the floor of the crow's nest.
got a 16 passive, so he'll definitely notice it.
A little opal tear stone can be seen rolling around the floor.
He'll pick it up and put it in his pocket. And I actually think nothing of it, but just assumes you may have dropped it, so probably return it to you at some point after his shift is over.
Okay.
As Estelle makes her way down from the crow's nest, as the clouds are beginning to roll in with the rain that Asher had mentioned noticing heading their way. Would anyone else like to have any words tonight? As this is the first night after your first day's worth of travel.
I think I'm good.
Okay. If not, I believe we are coming up on our cutoff time, unless I have misremembered it. Oh wait, daylight savings time is a thing. Wait, which way does that go?
We are almost
We
at
go
12
overtime?
p.m.
Mhm. Yeah, we're a quarter to 12 now.
Oh gosh!
Yeah. It's pretty late for Troy, isn't that right?
Oh man, it's all good now.
And with that, that is where we will leave our story for next time as we voyage into the coming rain clouds.